Instagram just debuted an awesome new feature. We're going to talk about it because it's been helping me get a lot of reach. And I know everyone's talking about engagement being down. So we're going to talk about that today. We're also going to talk about what Reels are bringing in the most followers for me, because I know a lot of you, not just engagement is down, but also just getting any engagement that you get or any non-follower reach you get is not converting new followers as much. Now, first, I do want to say, I also think it's just, we're a little more pickier about who we follow these days because we're on so many apps. I used to follow anyone and be like, oh, that's a cute post, follow. Like now it's like, I know people because I do it, right? I observe how I use the app. I ask other people how they use the app. If I see a post I like, I don't just hit follow. I go to their profile. I look at their pinned posts. I watch their stories. I look at their bio before I actually follow the person. And I typically DM them too. So just know if you're not converting non-followers to followers, there's a number of things. You got to make sure your bio is optimized so they know what's in it for them. You got to make sure you've got some pinned posts that will make people care about your content and know that this is an account for them. I always like to say your bio is your front door signage, if you will. Your grid is your storefront. It's the windows they look in to see what the vibe is like, see what's inside, what's in it for them. And then, of course, stories are that open door. It's like, oh, someone's there. I can actually reply and DM them. So I do want to just say that good content obviously is number one, but also when people land on your page, you want to make sure they're right away like, where has this account been all my life, right? Okay, so with that said, I just want to say what is converting the most right now for me from non-followers converting to new followers are my talk to camera reels. Way more than even like I've repurposed a few reels of mine a few months ago that did really well and brought in a ton of new followers. They brought in like half the amount as they normally do. So trust me, it could just be user behavior. It could be that wherever you are in the world, right now, where I am, it's back to school season. People are busy. And I'm telling you right now, I don't know, maybe this is just me. I don't want to learn anything right now. The only content I'm really absorbing and saving and sharing and obsessing over is like something funny. And that's about it because I'm tapped out, right? My daughter, my youngest, is still home with me until September 9th. I'm not back in like business mode for a few more weeks. So anything that has to do with business or elevating anything, I'm like, I don't care. Show me something funny while I scroll at night and want to end my day on a high note, right? Okay. So with that said, two things that are bringing in a lot of engagement for me right now is one, the new feature Instagram just rolled out, which is the new text overlay feature, meaning when you are adding a single image or multiple images, aka a carousel post. A carousel post is simply those posts that you see with photos that you can scroll through. I know they're launching up to 20. I still only have up to 10. Again, these things roll out. They take time. So you might not have this, but if you do, use it because this is the thing. I was talking about this new feature and how you can now add text to your images and your carousels from Instagram. So you don't have to use Canva. You don't have to use stories, type a bunch of stuff, save it to your camera roll, and then make it a post anymore. It's so easy. I've heard some people, it's glitchy for them. I've had no problem. My clients have had no problem. But again, every time they roll something out, it can be a bit funky. Just have patience. But here's the deal. When Instagram launches something new, they want you to hop on it. Same with TikTok. Same with any platform, right? They're like, no, use this because we created this because we want you guys to create more content like this. Like they're basically saying, hey guys, this is what we want. And this is what your audience wants. So as soon as this feature dropped, I started using it and it's way more. I mean, I would say almost like 3 times more of the engagement I normally get on my carousels, which I used to create in Canva. I have a theory about this. We want content that's on a specific platform to look native to that platform. Meaning when I go in LinkedIn, I don't want to look at content that looks like it's from TikTok. When I go into TikTok, I don't want it to have Instagram fonts on it. I, as a user, and I've done a lot of research on this and people agree, it's like if you walk into, I don't know, your favorite store and all of a sudden it looks like another store. You're like, wait, I thought this was Target. No, it's, Walmart, right? We always joke about there's the Target people, the Walmart people. It's almost that. It's like, wait, where am I? Again, there's just a lot of psychology. I'm not going to bore you with all that, but just know when Instagram rolls out a new feature, hop on it. They love early adapters. And number 2, the reason this is working so well is because it looks like Instagram and we're familiar with that and comfortable with it. So we don't log into these apps to feel like, what are we looking at? What's happening? We are on these apps to feel comfortable and to see content we want to see and that we're interested in, period. So these carousel posts, and you can go to my feed. I've done a bunch of them. I've done at least 3, but I have more in the works. I start with a hook, and as people swipe through, watch time increases. As you know, that's all the algorithm cares about is engagement, watch time, people staying on the app. It's how they make their money, right? We're feeding the beast. Sorry, it is what it is. But also, do you want to go outside and wave down cars and hope and pray that they stop and buy your stuff? No. So we got to do what we got to do. But also, I love these apps. I don't look at them as that, but we do have to think about that. I look at it as a place to connect, and I'm just trying my best to get the right content out that people want to see so that we are able to connect. Anyway, with all that said, got a ton of reach on the carousels I've done with this feature. What I did is I grabbed a bunch of photos, put them in the order I want. I have a whole tutorial on my Instagram. Go check it out of how to do these. You can just take a screenshot of whatever and just make the background white. Do whatever you want to do. It can look like a graphic. It can be images. I preferably have been going, and I know me, again, as someone who's consuming this content as well, like when it's pictures with text. So what I did is I took a bunch of selfies, some of me smiling, some of me going, no, like with my thumb down. And it did really well. So the first slide for one of them was, and both of the two that I did that were educational, one I did more of a storytelling, got over 2,000 saves, like craziness. It said, stop cross posting your content and what to do instead, with a bunch of fingers pointing to be like, swipe. Here's the deal, guys. The longer someone watches your reel, the more that watch time is up. Instagram goes, dang, people are looking at it. They're interested. We'll show it to more people. As someone swipes through your carousel like this, if you're watching this on YouTube, that is increasing watch time. That's Instagram going, dang, they went all the way to the end. Keep them interested. So how do you do that? So I had a lot of people, when I announced this new feature, go, wait, it didn't do much for me. Well, was the hook enticing? Was it compelling? Was it interesting? Was it did it build curiosity? If not, then that's the problem. You got to make sure that first and second one are interesting enough so that they keep going. So what I like to say for a carousel, your first slide is just your quintessential hook. Stop doing this. Do this instead. 5 things to da-da-da-da. But again, why do they care? This goes back to all the podcast episodes I have about specificity and hooks. Why do they care? Again, if you're a travel advisor or a travel blogger and you're saying 5 best places in the Caribbean to go, blah, blah, why do they care? Is it for people with toddlers? Is it for honeymooners who want a private villa? Why do they care? I was actually talking to a friend this morning about how, like, if I was planning a trip, that's why this is like top of my mind. If I was planning a trip right now, I know what Instagram would be feeding me if I was starting to search like Caribbean this or whatever. It would be feeding me any content about the Caribbean that has to do with places to take your kids, right? Because that's my priority of finding a trip. Now, if my dad, right, or someone else was searching on Instagram and digging around to find cool places, the algorithm would be feeding him very different travel content. It'd probably be places that are really off the grid and cheap and adventurous, right? So again, why do they care? They don't just want a cool place to go. They want a cool place to go that's perfect for X. Same with whether or not it's like, I don't know. We talk about this a lot. Recipes, right? The algorithm, if I'm looking around for recipes, it's going to feed me recipes that are easy, under 20 minutes, less than 5 ingredients, 1 pan, whatever it is. Now, someone else who might be really good at cooking might have a little more complicated recipes in coming to them. So you got to make them care. That hook has to be so good. For me, I use the classic stop doing this because I know what people are doing and why it's not working. And I say, here's what to do instead. That is the hook. Why do they care? Not just 5 places to travel, not just 5 organization hacks, not just 5 of the best plants. For who? For people who kill plants? For people who live in a hotter climate? Right? Why do they care? Make that hook so specific. If that hook is specific, they're going to swipe. Next slide. Do not give them the whole enchilada yet. Tease them. So I think about it, about cross-posting. I said, LinkedIn is how you show up at the company happy hour. Facebook is how you show up to the family reunion. Instagram is how you show up for lunch with friends. Instagram is how you show up to lunch with friends. TikTok is how you show up for an unhinged night with your besties. Threads and X is the group chat you hope doesn't get exposed, blah, blah, blah. Then I go into here's what to do. So it's almost like back to essay writing. The title of your essay, the intro, and then the good stuff. Okay. So that's what your carousel needs to do if you want. Now, I am going to say, obviously in the Rails Lab, all we do is create Rails. I'm so excited because I've had so many people in there, just their content going nuts and viral. And I'm going to be like, flip it. And I'm going to be teaching them. So with these, all you have to do is go find a post that the caption did really good or the reel did really good and just repurpose it into one of these and just take a bunch of photos or just take screenshots of a white background and type it out. They're doing really well. Okay. With that said, the other thing that's doing really well, again, is my talk to camera reels. Does that mean stop doing trending audios and clever hooks? No, it just means I think right now, this is what people are really loving right now for whatever reason. So when I talk to the camera, again, I have all sorts of hooks on my Instagram for viral talk to camera hooks for starters. What I like to do for my talk to camera reels is I keep it very conversational. I like to call it like an eavesdropping hook. It's almost like you heard me midway in the middle of a conversation with my friend. Like, well, what I think is that's how you start your talk to camera. They're like, well, what is she even talking about? It's interesting, right? Again, psychology. Won't bore you with all that. But other ones I have for you are, I can't be the only one who feels that blah, blah, blah. Everything about this blank makes me blank. Or, this is one of my favorites. And actually someone used this hook the other day for talk to camera and went viral. So ready? It says, this blank will change your mind about blank. So this move will change your mind about fitness. I don't know, I'm not a fitness girly. So again, think about what your people are looking for. If you know they're looking for, like they actually hate exercise and you're a fitness guru, talk to that. Say the move that will change your mind about going to the gym, the one machine that will change your mind about going to the gym. What are the objections your people have? That's a really good one. So again, talk to camera, because again, I think trust has kind of been a struggle for a lot of people because there's lots of faceless accounts. There's lots of people copying content. Everything started to look the same. And everyone's like, can someone just talk to me like a normal human being? And then these carousels are a nice pattern interruption and they look native to the platform and people really like them. So real quick, I know I went long this one, but I will say, what I want you to do today is go to your Explore page, and I really want you to see just how much the algorithm knows you. Look at this. Toddler, and again, pictures. It's almost like we're going back in time. And every time I tell people you're struggling, go back to basics. We just want a simple tip, something to make us laugh, right? So obviously the algorithm knows I have a toddler. So my Explore page has lots of toddler recipes. Am I actively searching for toddler recipes? No. But it knows I want to see it. It also knows I love fall. It also knows I have a sensitive tummy. So I like funny humor about that, right? So there's lots of that. It knows I love tequila and margaritas. There's lots of that. So again, do not think that your content cannot end up here. You just got to know what's in your person's feed and how to make your content pop and your hook pop. So again, I was talking to a friend about this morning. Let's say you're a local blogger and I have a kid and I just said I have a sensitive tummy and I've always been lactose intolerant. Dairy and I are not friends, but doesn't stop me. It's a problem. So, okay, here we go. So I'm not a Costco person. I get stressed out in Costco, but guess what? This person's reel is actually going to make me want to go to Costco because I like to keep clean stuff in our house, especially because we go out to eat so much. I'm like, as much as I can keep in my house that's healthy, whatever. His hook, talk to camera, and he's in Costco, says clean hidden gems at Costco. That is a genius. So again, specific doesn't have to mean long, but you got to ask people, why do they care? Why would my content? Okay, so he's at Costco. I don't shop at Costco, but I'm still interested in that reel because he put the words clean. And that is a trigger in my brain that goes, oh, I'm interested. So you guys, when it comes to your hooks, when it comes to your carousels and you talk to cameras and your trending audios, how can you get specific? That's it for this week. I just want to really encourage you to jump on that new feature and just know that if you're really struggling to get new followers from your content, lean on those two because that's what's working really well for me. And next week, we're going to go in even more on like what's working. And I'm going to make a whole list of reels for you guys to check out to help you out because it will officially be everyone's back in school. Labor Day's done. We're getting back to work. I love you, friend. Have a wonderful week. Mwah.